Attention, please. The show starts in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Manchester United is red. I just got my voice back, but excuse me. It's been a fantastic week of football, and the games come thick and fast. And we're actually playing at Selhurst Park on Wednesday against Crystal Palace. And I got my trusty panel to support us, and hope you can support us too, because it's a big fight. It's a big game. We are in a title race. We are on a Gooner hunt, and we are going to Selhurst Park on Wednesday. Let me bring in Phil Standish. How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
How's the mood? How's the voice?
Yeah, my voice. I don't know if anybody saw my little clip online, but yeah, I was a little bit ecstatic at the final result. It was yeah, and feel free to say what you want about the offside or onside. I don't really care. It was reviewed, it was given, and we won. And Manchester is red. Red.
Yeah.
Manchester is red. As
Man
we
United,
very
Nick.
openly said last week. Yeah, Nick said it has to be red, and she was 100% right. Man United is red. Manchester is red. Rashford is red. We're all red.
Oh my God. I lost Nick here. But anyway, Manchester is red. We are going for a Gooner hunt. I was looking forward to hear Nick's comment, but she just disappeared. And hopefully she's got back. There you are. Nick,
Hi!
you said it. You called it.
I did call it. I'm on fire with the predictions for Manchester United. Absolutely on fire. Just incredible. It's amazing, and I'm just so happy that we won. I'd have taken a 1-0 win, quite frankly. I'd have taken it scrappy. I'd have taken anything just to win. But the boys played absolutely brilliant, and it was never in doubt for me. Even when City got the first goal, I still never gave up, because they were playing with such consistency, passion, determination, everything that they didn't play with last time. So yeah, it was brilliant.
God, we give it an applause, don't we? Well done, boys. So without any further ado, let's kick on the show. Let's get ready to rumble, people. Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
There we are. So, guys, sorry about the technical issues. I'm still having a endorphins hangover. Like, it's been amazing, past couple of 72 hours. And all I can do is just go, God, it feels great to be Manchester United supporter at the moment. You know what I mean? It's all great, So Nick, you were not able to go to the game. I was in Penang, Malaysia, screaming my lungs out. I was in the local bar where all the United faithfuls was gathering. There was a half in terms of Manchester United supporters and City supporters, and we started off quite well, right? I would say that the strategy was on par from Erik ten Hag. What's your take on the overall setup, and when you saw the lineup and the way Erik ten Hag, was man matching Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez and all that, playing with Fred, in terms of the lineup? What were you thinking in the first instance when the lineup came out?
Is that Phil or me?
Sorry?
Do you want Phil to answer that or me?
Yeah, I want you to answer,
right,
Nick.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed with the lineup. I felt that we were comfortable in midfield. I felt that it had been set up basically to control that midfield, to not let De Bruyne get the ball. Again, I think wasn't quite sure on the
Hmm. I don't know if everyone is still here. Yeah, you there?
I'm back. If you
Yeah.
can hear me, I have no idea what's going on.
I don't know. Internet providers nowadays are dodgy. But you were saying, you know,
I was saying basically that it was all played in midfield. We played through the midfield really, really well. Not giving Haaland a chance on the ball as well. I think that what was more important was that we made sure those balls didn't get through to him, which is why that midfield was so important. And I
mm,
think Ten Hag played a blinder with it. Again, he knew he knows Pep's style. He knows the City play, and you could tell by the way he celebrated the goals just how much it meant to him that Manchester
mm,
United actually won, and they played so well together as a team. When you watched it back on Match of the Day, you could see the positioning very similar
yeah,
to what City do. Very similar. The triangulation, the way they move together when they're off the ball as well.
mm,
It was perfect. It was honestly, it was probably one of my favourite matches to watch because we
100%.
played them so well.
We did. Phil, do you echo what you're saying? I mean, according to the statistics, City had about 70% ball possession, but it sure didn't feel like way. I mean, we forced them like playing side to side, and we pin-pocketed, we blocked the midfield, we blocked De Bruyne. Fred was doing a madness together with Casemiro. What's your take on it, mate?
Yeah, well, when I was watching the game, I mean, I apologise, just lost connection for a minute, so I didn't quite catch what you said. Sorry, Nick. But when I was watching the game, the stats came up saying 70% to City. It was about halfway through the first half, and I thought, where's the possession? Because what they've done nothing with it, and they didn't really care about what the possession was because if you don't do nothing with it's pointless. You know, we used to see this all the time with Van Gaal. It's like, oh, United's got 80% possession, but they're not winning games. You know, you can't. It's not keeping the ball if you're not doing nothing with it. But what I did see with the possession that we did have, we played really well. We moved the ball well, and whether City were still in a sort of different mindset off the back of the cup loss, or they are actually favouring us because we are getting, Old Trafford is becoming a bit of a fortress again, and they're not all as confident as they used to be, striding up to the place. I don't know, but and I know it's been all over the news about like Gea made a couple of bad passes and blah 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 blah. But do you know what? I don't really care right now because he's really improved. But what we did see was lots of misplaced passes from City players, including Edison, several from Edison, and that was because they are not playing relaxed football that they used to, the way they're just used to turning up and
Mm,
just turning teams over. And over the last few weeks, they have seen, as of other teams, Liverpool, who are getting rolled over as well and are getting beaten. And you can't just, you've got to turn up with the right mentality. And I believe that that's what Ten Hag's instilled into the team. They're not turning up thinking, oh, it's Palace or it's Wolves or whatever. You know, we did that at the beginning of the season. You could see where it went wrong against Brentford, and we don't need to go back that far. But we know what we learned from that moment of like, look, it doesn't matter who you're playing, you've got to give your all in every game.
mm.
And Ten Hag said as much in his recent presses about like 100% is required every time of everybody, and if anybody's not prepared to give 100%, there's the door. And that's exactly what we wanted to hear from our Man United manager. So yeah, absolutely made up with the performance.
100%. I mean, guys, do you think we are in a title race at the moment as it stands today? What do you reckon, Nick? I mean, surely we're going to be in there. Like, surely the PTSD from the past 5, 6, 7 years is starting to release.
I think we definitely are in the race. I think that we're not far behind City. It's achievable. Um, I'd like to think that we can win it, and I've got a friend who put a bet on at the start of the season, and it was 29-1 that United would win. And everyone was like, "Are you crazy?" And I think just before Christmas, she could cash out at 80p. I think it was like a £3 bet, and now she can cash out at £6. So it just
Well, there
goes
you
to
go.
show that actually they're starting to worry. And I do think that Arsenal will drop
Mm,
off. I do think that they will end up dropping points at, hopefully against us again. But I don't think that they can necessarily maintain the trajectory that they're on. I think City are in a really, really negative mindset, and I said it on the last stream that I think it's changed for them. Something's changed. You know, you heard Pep say, you know, we don't care about the Carabao Cup. We can't, you know, we obviously can't win it. We don't care about the Premier League. We can't win it. That has a major impact on everybody else. If your manager doesn't believe
Phil.
that you can
Yeah.
do something, and he's the one that's got to try and coach and guide people. And if it's like as a parent, if you don't believe your kid can achieve something, you say, oh, it's not doable, then they're going to be in a negative mindset. So Pep is really the person that needs to lift that team, and I think that he's starting to get the whole, oh, it's, you know, why is it always us? We never get decisions. But you know, we can talk about the offside all we want. The fact of the matter is that it was deemed to be, yes, he was offside, but he wasn't involved in play.
I lost
But
Nick.
actually, have you lost me again?
No, I can hear you, Nick.
Oh right. Oh okay. Oh,
No, I can't hear you.
Oh right.
From the control panel, we have a
Alright.
disaster.
I can hear
but
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but basically there was the game where the City player was offside by an absolute mile, but because it touched another player first, an opposition player, that was allowed. So, you know, there's lots of decisions that can go for you or against you. So at the end of the day, Rashford knew that he was offside. He didn't touch the ball on purpose. Some people are saying, well, he interfered with play because the other player was miles away. Unless that other player was going to do a sliding tackle and give away a penalty, there was absolutely no way he was getting to that ball. So he did the right thing.
Nick's just gone, I think. I will add to. I will continue with what she was saying. The only thing that I would honestly, Nick, you back? You want to carry on? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you go for it. I'd finished.
Bit of hokey cokey in out. So basically, just continuing from what Nick was saying, I've got a slightly different viewpoint on it. Absolute made up. It was given. If it was given against us, I'd be fuming.
Yeah, you would.
Because you know, with a sort of neutral hat on just for a moment, discussion, I'd be fuming. It was, yes, Rashford did continue his run, but when you look at the players, you know, Akanji, he was running with Rashford, and he did stop running, and he looked to the linesman as though he was playing offside. So, in defence, not of City, but in defence of the situation for going forward for anything similar, I actually think we were lucky to get away with it in terms of how it rolled out on the pitch. By the letter of the law, we did nothing wrong, which is why the goal was given.
Yeah.
But if it was me, I would feel harshly done by. You know, if it was like, if I coach a kids football team, if it went against us, I'd be like, are you kidding? He was clearly interfering with play. But the difference was, you know, Edison carried on playing. He came sprinting out of the goal. I think it was Walker on the left. He came running in from the other side, or someone did. One of the other defenders came in. So the action continued apart from Akanji. And I'm not sure that at that moment that Rashford knew he was offside. I think he was about to strike it, and Bruno would probably give him a shout going, leave it, you're offside or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You could see he almost, I don't believe it was a preempted role where they said, oh, I know, I'll shield. Because I think it was, who's the referee who they always interview on Sky Sports, you know, during the game, and they go, oh, what do you think, Peter, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he says, you know, Rashford played really well to do what he did, and it's like, well, he was suggesting he'd done it on purpose, and I think that was the sort of thing that got people's backs up a little bit. But in reality, I really don't think Rashford did. I think Rashford was carrying on playing. He stepped back at the last moment, and Bruno's banged back of the net. So yeah, fantastic goal, but it's something that will definitely. I don't think anybody will get away with it again. I think it was a right decision and right result.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
big up, Phil.
Yeah. Sorry, that's just where the difficulty lies, though, isn't it? Is that the rules can be interpreted so
in the grey zone,
that it's like, you know, the rule used to be if you're in an offside position, it was called straight away. The flag would go up, and that would be it. But because they've given more chance to the attacking play and they want it to continue, it leads to these kinds of situations. So I mean, it's the rule change, but actually, if you're going by the letter of the law, you're absolutely right. I don't think Rashford meant to do that, because actually, at one angle, it did look like he got a touch to it.
It did, didn't it? I was thinking, flipping heck.
Yeah, so I don't think he did intend to do it, but he obviously
you know what?
got the shout.
At the end of the day, the refs called it. It went There was a allowed goal. We move on, and then 5 minutes later we scored 2-1, and the roof was going off, right? So that's all I care about. It's like the 3 points, because once they scored, I was a little bit worried to say, oh no, here we go again. City's going to just get the 1-0 lead and just play, what they usually do, just keep possession, playing like, side to side around the midfield. And I say, oh no. But to come back with 2-1 victory, against City, that is a big comeback, according to my opinion. I just want to go to
when
the
you see
panel.
the stat on Sky Sports, it said that they'd never done that, didn't it? It said that they'd never come back from, no team had come back against them
Never.
when they've been in
Never.
the lead. And we were the first to. So Sky Sports had to update their little window now.
100%. 100%. And even what Pep Guardiola said, and he had 2 interviews speaking about United. The first time was, a couple of months ago. He said Manchester United is back. Second interview pre-match, he also said, Manchester United is really coming back.
That was reverse psychology the second time, though,
It
wasn't
was.
it?
Yeah.
But now he felt
That was
it.
like,
Now he
oh
felt
yeah,
it.
you're back. Yeah.
Okay. Back to the bench warmers. Lancer Jr., welcome. Hello, sir. Hello, welcome to the show. Hello, Mick, panel. We are in a title race. Let's go in form right now. Yeah, we are in form right now. Big up, Lancel. We just need to get over the Palace hurdle and we can win against Arsenal 100%. What do you guys reckon?
Palace are a difficult one for us. I always think that we should get points against them. And I don't think that we won't, but I don't think it'll be an easy game, especially not at Selhurst Park. I think that we'll struggle a little bit. Although, to be fair, they've not been playing great, Crystal Palace. They got battered by Tottenham. They lost the FA Cup third round. So they're having a dip in form as well. But some of these mid-table clubs, they always show up against us. Always, they're the ones that we need to be really battling with, and for some reason they just come out. It's like a Champions League final for them almost. They just come and because even when we were in bad form, all the lower clubs wanted to come out and beat Manchester United, even though we were on poor form. That's what all those clubs want to do.
That was the same under Fergie era, though, wasn't it? It was always the same. It's just like, no matter what you say about United, how far they've fallen or how well they're doing or how bad they're doing, everybody wants to come to Old Trafford and beat United because they know ultimately they are a massive team with a massive history, and that will go in their history books that they've had a scalp over United, even in now. They've had a scalp over United. But when you look at Palace's last few results, you've just touched on them there, Nick. You've got Palace at home, December, lost 3-0 to Fulham, won 2-0 away at Bournemouth, but I think everybody's won away at Bournemouth. They lost 4-0 against Spurs, who can't score for anything at the moment. Then they lost at home in the FA Cup, 2-1 to Southampton. And then they've lost away at Chelsea this week, so they are in a very poor run of form. And it's not like they've just had one bad result where they're gonna knee-jerk reaction and come back and try and do something about it. They're on a bad run of form, which is why I think, as you're absolutely right, Nick, we do normally have a bit of a boo-boo game against them, sort of thing. But I think now is the exact time to play them. I think we're not gonna, especially with the form that we're on at the moment. It definitely is the right time.
Right. Niall, let's talk football. Welcome, mate. Kind of miss you. All right, Mick. All right, Phil. All right, Nick. Yeah. Big up to you, mate. How are you doing today? Good evening, Niall.
Mate.
Mikey, lol, goal. He's talking about the offside situation. Yeah, it was a goal. That's it. Ayush Jill. Oh, are you loyal? Ayush Jill. Phil looks like a Weghorst.
Can you sing like him, Phil?
You look like Weghorst.
Phil looks like Weghorst.
Yeah, he reckons you look like
Pay me the money. Pay me the money. Pay me the money.
Mick, Phil, Nick, proper well tonight. I hope we are well tonight. Yeah, we are well tonight. Thank you. Mike's goes, email lao. I cannot read. Again, nice going again. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it's cool. All right. So, guys, in terms of, the run on form, title form, if we look at the league position right now, I mean, obviously we are 1 point behind, a City, right? barring that Arsenal one yesterday, they are now 9 points clear of us, but they
And
haven't played.
Newcastle.
Yeah, they haven't played City yet. We faced all of them. We played.
No.
No, we played City, we played Chelsea, we played Tottenham. Yeah. So basically, out of those 18 games we played, we have one loss. And if you look at the Premier League table, the last 5 games is win, 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 win. It's all green. So impeccable
Yeah,
form.
yeah.
So
There's only us. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So for me, this like Selhurst Park game is kind of like dress rehearsal for Arsenal. You know, there's no better time to go to the Emirates to play Arsenal at the moment. It's particularly in the run of form that we are. So I
Yes.
think that there should be a cracking game coming. Like I don't know. For me right now, it's just go to Selhurst Park and just get 3 points at the end of the day.
I think
But
that's
in
really
terms.
important. Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. Because if we don't do that, if we make a mistake against Palace, if we drop points against Palace, suddenly the mindset changes before Arsenal. And Erik Ten Hag's job is very, very clear. He's just got to make us focus on the Palace game and get that out of the way. It's not a win. It's not a guaranteed win. In our last 5 games,
no.
we've drawn. Each team, Palace have won 2, we've won 2, and we've drawn 1. So there's no giving here at this point. It's not like it's a United win because it's Palace.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yes,
but
on a
also,
bad run of form, and we're on a great run of form, so everything says we should win. But let's see.
a good point, a valid point that that we have to keep in mind. I kept forgetting that, we probably need to rest Casemiro and Fred because they're both on one yellow card away from
Both on
suspension.
yellows.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Niall is saying, let's talk football. I hope Casemiro and Fred get rested on Wednesday. With them both playing one booking away from a suspension, we cannot afford Casemiro far away from Arsenal game. 100%, mate. Lazel Jr. says, Luke Shaw as centre back looks like he's been playing there for years. 100%. He was crazy in that position.
yeah. Good shout, mate. Good shout.
Yeah, good shout, Nick, as well. Ayush Chill, Man City was unlucky because playing without Haaland in that derby cost them 3 points. Not a good idea by Pep to bench him in the crucial match. Should have the game.
Good
Yeah,
shout out. Good shout out.
yeah. It feels like City played with 10 men, and they changed the system around just because they bought Haaland, but that with Luke Shaw and our general in the back, we're talking about Varane. We absolutely pocketed him, like no sniff. They had one shot on target, and that was the only time
Yeah,
that De Bruyne came away from Fred or Casemiro, managed to ping that ball in, and he hit. I don't know. I don't call him Jack Grealish. He hasn't been that great, but he had to be Jack Grealish to
Yeah,
hit that ball. Yeah.
yeah,
he's always great
So.
against us. He just is. It's just something that
Mm,
happens. He just turns up against us, doesn't he?
yeah.
yeah. Lenzel is saying, we're in a title race just to stay consistent. 100% is what I said, like a couple of months ago when we restarted the Premier League. Like forget about the points tally, forget about the run of form before the World Cup. It is now when it starts. Whoever finds the consistent run of form, consecutive wins and stay injury free is the one that will win the league. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think
Yeah, I
this.
think I've got to be honest. I'm surprised that I think this is Arsenal's best season. I think they know it,
Mm,
and I think something's just got to change very soon because we are on the best run of form that we're on. Arsenal are on the best run of form that they've been on. Arsenal's next few games, they've obviously got us in the league, then they've got City in the FA Cup, but then they've got Everton away, Brentford at home, City at home, Villa away, and Villa are just starting to hit a bit of a run of form as well, so that might not be so straightforward as one first thought. Then they've got Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, so they have got. I'm not sure where all these big games are with like Chelsea and that. Oh, there they are. They're at the end of the season, April. So at the end of the season, Arsenal have got Newcastle, Chelsea, and City 3 games in succession, which is a big, big difference to what's going on. So that towards the end of the season, that's where the run will be interesting. We've just got to be in there at that point, ready to go.
Yeah, but also I was talking to my Gunnar best friend. He's a Gunnar supporter, of course. He said to me, like, was very pissed off that they didn't get Mudryk. They got snubbed by Chelsea. Obviously, I don't know what Chelsea is
Yeah,
doing. But they were banging on to get the Mudryk in as well. But he said to me, like, we are pretty thin, right? If you look to our bench, we don't have many options, right? If we get Thomas Partey injured,
Yeah,
Odegaard injured, we're screwed.
yeah,
So looking at Erik ten Hag, what he's been training, I mean, the players that he brings in, they know how to play his system. Everyone knows their role. The
Yeah.
mentality, the application is there, and all of a sudden we're looking proper in terms of going to the transfer market. We don't no longer need a reserve right back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is back to his prime again, like amazing. Um, we're stuck with Weghorst now. We got a forward line, so we're stuck with the wingers. The only thing that I see that we really need is a midfielder, another midfielder, right? So what happens if Casemiro gets injured or barring
yeah.
suspension, the drop off is big. Who are we going to play? Fred, McTominay. That you see what my point is. So we need to
Mm.
sort of go to the
Oh
market
yeah,
to find a
yeah, yeah.
midfielder,
Yeah.
mm, in a way. Um,
Absolutely do. Yeah,
Yuffie says this team makes me believe again. Same here,
Yeah.
100%. I
yeah,
don't know about you
yeah.
guys. After the whistle game, I did a match review. I lost my voice, I lost my cool, and I said, "This is the most." I cried, tears of joy. I said, "This is the best I ever seen United played for 6 years, 6, 7 years, right? It was electric.
Yeah.
And big up for the 13 player. The crowd was immense. The crowd is there. We're starting to believe again. The
Yeah.
fan base is positive. Like you can see on the socials how people are interacting. It's glory, glory, Manchester United. So big up, Yuffie. Big up. Um, Mikey saying yes, we are gonna win the league. So there is a believe. And Lancer Junior said Pep is rattled. Yeah, he is rattled.
Good.
Fahim, Fahim Faisal is saying, I have a feeling we'll beat Arsenal. They crumble. Moreover, they do play City twice. Surely gonna lose a point. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what we said. It's the law of physics. It's Newton's law. What comes up must come down. The game is played in 90,
Yeah.
95 minutes, and anything can happen. So it's a long season ahead, like until mid-May. So up to now to mid-March,
Like Ten Hag
both.
said, didn't he? Every era comes to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're seeing
100%.
that. He was talking about City and Liverpool,
Yeah,
and they and we're seeing that now. He rattled them at the beginning of the season.
yeah,
Every era must come to an end, and for the way what's happening to Liverpool at the moment. I mean, I know
yeah,
we're on a talking about sort of thing, but
Yeah.
you can't not mention the form of Liverpool at the moment. It's great for all United fans to see,
yeah,
because you think a 3-0 loss again, and Brighton, they are a good side. They should not be underestimated. And again, I think people are underestimating how much quality is in the Premier League. You let your guard down for 1 minute, and that's it. You've got to be 100% on it 100% of the time. And if
yeah.
anybody's not, out you get.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nick,
my
we
page is
got a
playing
squad.
up.
We believe. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading Mikey's comment. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
I'm just saying my internet's playing up, so I can't see you at all. So yeah, I don't
That's
know
all
what
right.
you're up to, but I can still hear you.
That's cool. You can hear me. But you know what? Like empires, like football goes in cycles, like the Roman Empire, the French Empire, everything goes in cycles. And I'm just so happy to see that, Arsenal on top, we are chasing Gooners, like, it's the way they used to be, like the good
Yeah.
old days, like we used to battle with Arsenal. The era of City and Liverpool, they're going through a rebuild, I guess. Like, City is not the same as City last year. You know, mid-table clubs, you know, it's Chelsea sitting on the mid-table at the moment. Um, Liverpool also like ninth and 10th. So it's just unbelievable to see. You know.
It's
So
good to
guys,
see.
good to see. There's a lot of comments that I have to go through. But in terms of the lineup, in terms of how do you think we will line up? Like, do you reckon we will go strong? Do you see any rotation, knowing that Erik ten Hag is he wants to win every game. He's adamant. Like we in the FA Cup, we in the Carabao Cup, we in the Europa League. We're challenging for
Mm.
the title at the moment. So how do you guys see him? Like he's a winner. Like he wants to win this game. Do you think he will go strong, or do you think he will go? I will rest Casemiro, I'll rest Bruno,
I
I'll
think
Ladies
rest.
he's
first.
Yeah, I think he's got to rest some players. He's got to keep Casemiro off. He's got to keep Fred off because they are an important part of the Arsenal game. I
Yeah.
think, again, we'll see that back four change slightly because, again, we need to make sure that we've got certain players. So I think Varane will be rested. I think he's going to protect those players that have really been consistent and pivotal. I think he desperately needs to ensure that those players stay fit and rested. You might see them come on maybe towards the end just to get a little bit of a run around, but I don't think they'll play as big a role as perhaps we've seen them before, because we absolutely need to win every single game now. We need to keep stacking up those points, but if it was going to be a choice, it would be the Arsenal one that we go for, because they're in the lead. And
It's 6 pointer at the end of the day, isn't it?
yeah, and again, at the end of the day, Palace have always been a mid-table club. Always, they've always been in that 11th, 12th, 13th position. So yes, we want.
Yeah, I mean, as
we wanna
Laszlo's
get
saying,
points.
we need 3 points, and that's all we need, basically. That's all
And it'll
I
put us
care about.
back ahead of Newcastle, back in third,
Yeah.
back 1 point behind City. And we do all that, and then suddenly, the pressure is still on because everyone's looking at us going, oh, they're going to play Arsenal yet, they're going to play this team yet. Well, actually, everyone that they're saying we're going to play yet, we are turning up against, and we're getting the points still. We're still getting the wins. So we cannot drop points, and I think we've got to go relatively strong against Palace. But as Nick says, I think we've just got to rest Casemiro and Fred, because it is too much risk to lose them for the Arsenal game.
100%. I mean, Michael is saying here, I agree with Michael, Liverpool area domination failed, City era shaky, United era begins. I mean, I couldn't sum it up better than Mikey says here, definitely, because as we said, football goes in cycles,
Yeah.
So it is United's time, isn't it, and Arsenal's time, and barring Newcastle is doing a rebuild as well. You know what? So let's have a look at. Are you there, mate? Is everyone there?
I'm here. I'm here. I think Nick's gone again. Oh, she's back.
Yeah. Don't know what's going on.
So should we look at the starting 11? I haven't done this. It's down to Phil. Let's have a debate what Phil has done. All right, let's have a look at it.
So is it up on the screen now? Is it?
I can't
Yeah,
see
it is
it.
up.
Yeah, fantastic. Right. So basically, I have gone, and some of me, I'm not sure. I just think that I know that Ten Hag has got to make the changes, because I think if he is, he's still going to be a risk, and we're better to risk him against Arsenal. Although that depends how Weghorst turns out. If he turns out to be as good as we're hoping. I mean, we're not expecting him to be the Messiah sort of thing, but we are expecting him to just get goals for us, get in position and create chances and make runs that might give others other opportunities and stuff like that. But I'm just not sure. Known him for about, I think he said 9 years, something like that. He said he's known him, and he's seen his style of football for a long time, and he's liked him before, sort of thing. So he knows a lot about him on and off the pitch, and that's exactly what he's building. But with Weghorst, I just wonder is he ready just to start and slot straight into the team? Any professional, you could say, could turn up and just start and slot in, and the way I've put Elanga up front at the moment, partly because I forgot that we'd actually signed Weghorst when I put this team together very quickly.
I reminded you, didn't I?
He's like, what about Weghorst? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. But yeah, he just wasn't in me app that I put my names in and dragging names around, and I'm thinking, yeah, who could have played instead of Martial? And I put Elanga in because that was my best option. I think Anthony needs more game time. He clearly needs minutes.
Yeah.
He needs to get used to the pace of the Premier League, and his confidence builds when you see how he started in the first 3 games. His first 3 games, 3 goals, and then obviously it sort of faded out a little bit. I just think that Anthony against Palace is probably the sort of game he needs to just get a bit of confidence, some good runs, that sort of thing. We've discussed many times, he isn't the fastest player, but he has got skills that he can learn to use quite well as a team. I've rested Rashford just based on the fact that I'm convinced he's carrying an injury.
Yeah.
He probably had an operation at half time, or an injection at half time, not an operation. That was quick. An injection at half time that got him through the game and got us the goal. And I think when we rested him against Charlton, Whether that was because of an injury or he was just resting him, I don't know. I think he'll probably do the same sort of thing again. But I don't think we'll leave it so late this time if we need to make a change, because, scoring in the 90th minute and the 93rd minute against Charlton was just too close, really was. And I don't think we can take that risk against Palace.
In terms of your backline, then,
So
what's
I
your
think
logic
Martinez
behind it?
needs game. I think Martinez needs game time. I think he clearly is match fit. I said it in the last, in our last podcast. I said I wasn't sure if he was going to start against City, based on the fact that I mentioned his height against Haaland, but it wasn't the main reason. The main reason was I saw him play against Charlton with his missed passes. He just didn't look the sharpness that we saw when he first joined us. And I think he needs game time. And if Ten Hag wants all his options available for Arsenal, this is the best chance. And I will reiterate, I am not saying Palace are going to be a walkover in any way whatsoever. But if Martinez has had another week's training sort of thing since we last saw him start a game, and then Malacia, he's getting more up to pace with the Premier League. I've put Maguire in again just because I think he's trying to rest Varane. He's obviously carrying an injury. He gave his all against City, was immense. Really was fantastic. He's such a leader on and off the pitch, and Ten Hag said that as well. But I just wonder if we'll see, when Maguire has been played recently, been played on the right, almost as though Ten Hag saying, if you are going to play, that's your new starting position. You can fight that out with Lindelof and Varane. There's a guy called Jones apparently he's still on the books. I don't know where he's gone.
He's injured again, isn't he?
Jones, yeah.
You know what, he is stealing a living, that guy. Wan-Bissaka right back, I think he deserves his place. I know that Dalot was fantastic, but Wan-Bissaka, he's not putting a foot wrong at the moment. I'm glad that the rumours have come out that we're not selling him, because I think he is fantastic. He's been given his chance under Ten Hag almost by default, and he's come to the forefront, and he's just doing everything we asked of him. He's not doing what he was doing previously, where every tackle was a slide tackle, and that's where his weakness was, in my opinion.
He's even dribbling. He's very comfortable going forward as well.
He is, but I think that's developed, and part of his biggest weakness in his game was also his strength, because it's like, look at his success rate. It was always a slide tackle. He called him the spider. He's got the legs out and stuff like that. But most of the time, as I say to the kids at the under 11s, if you're down, if you slide and you miss, they're away. Or if you slide, you're at risk, or you better get back up again, sort of thing. So staying on your feet is a big important part of his game. I really believe he's developed. McTominay, really another one who's not looked sharp, but I think he'll replace Casemiro is the obvious replacement, because it would be Fred, but both of them, so I've gone with McTominay. Ericsson to add the experience and the passing ability. Fernandes up front, just because I'm not sure who else. I don't think he'd play Mainu against Palace. He might do, I don't know. And Garnacho on the left, because he's just awesome. And Elenga all their horsed up front.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate. I mean, Ayush Jill saying Erik ten Hag would not go for a weak team. We play cup games with PL team. Now we need same team to play day in and day out. Well, yeah, in a way, but we're playing 3 games, week in, week out until mid-March. So rotation is key, and at the end of the day, we are just predicting the starting lineup, and we never get it right, don't we? Every time we do this, Ten Hag is sort of outsmarting us, Nick,
we get closer.
We get closer. I think Nick just disappeared.
Am I back?
Yeah. Phil Jones is the next option after Rishi Sunak for UK. That's a smashing comment, Ayush. Thank you. We love your positivity. Now, Ayush, we're looking forward for your 9-1 prediction score as well. So, yeah. Nick, I mean, any comments regarding any critical views on Phil's lineup, or do you think this could go heads, tails, left, right, centre?
I agree with it for the most part. I think Alanga's probably the only one that I would question. I don't think he's clinical enough for us to be that point man. So I think if Weghorst is available, then we need to be. I'd just be tempted to put him in there to add a little bit of pace, and perhaps Palace won't be expecting it as well. I don't think that. I think Alanga needs to go out on loan. I don't think he's quite, which is really disappointing because he started so well, but he seems to. I don't know whether it's the style. He just can't keep up with the pace. So I would be tempted. I mean, I'd have been tempted to have Garnacho up front and perhaps think of somebody else on that left, if I'm honest, because I wouldn't have Elanga. Maybe I'd drop him back a little bit.
I don't
But
know.
again, Garnacho is so dangerous on that left hand side. We need a player that can do that. But I agree with everything else. Bit surprised about Maguire. I might have thought maybe we'd see Lindelof.
Lindelof,
in
yeah.
there. But Maguire's an obvious choice because we paid so much for him. He's been our club captain, so it makes sense that if it's not going to be Varane, then it's going to be Maguire.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I have a sort of thinking that, I don't have the faith in Elanga that much. I might see that Weghorst gets a shout, like as a proper number 9. I think we will play Garnacho on the left wing and Anthony on the right, swinging the balls into Weghorst. I think it would be a total different lineup than what we predicted. So as I said, we never get the lineups up, but whatever Ten Hag selects, I'm confident. I mean, we've seen that in the past 9 games, it's been tactical spot on, and 3 points is what matters for me. If you play good football, that's great. But we said Sellers Park is not an easy game to play. I mean, not a big ground to play. We're going to London twice in a couple of short span of days as well. So Ayush is saying he reckons Rashford, Weghorst, Anthony, Bruno, Eriksson, Martinez, Malaysia, Shaw, Varane, AVB, Van der Sar.
Van der Sar.
Van der Sar. Oh, love it. But guys, thank you for let us know your lineup in the comments below as well. I mean, in terms of score prediction, this is always interesting. We're interested to hear your score predictions as well.
I think it's going to be a big scoring game, but I do think that we are going to get the 3 points. I'm not saying it'll be scrapper. It's not going to be easy.
But I lost Nick there.
Isn't it gone? Yeah.
Yeah, in and out. There she's back.
I'm back.
You're saying
Doing the whole
scrappy.
Yeah.
You said scrappy and then whoops.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be scrappy. I do think it's going to be slightly challenging, but we saw the way we played against City. The movement was beautiful. The passing was good. It was consistent. So I think that all we need to do is keep that. I mean, I'm still not sure how City had 70% possession because for the most part it was United that controlled that ball. So I think we're going to have the same with Palace, and we're just going to keep. We've got that confidence.
Yeah.
The team are playing together. There's good shouting between the players. You can quite often hear it if it's quiet. Again, Crystal Palace have got quite a decent fan base and they can make it quite loud. But our away fans are some of the best fans in the world. They're so loud and they can really chivvy up the team. So I think that if anybody can outsing the Palace fans, it'll definitely be our fans.
And your score prediction?
1-0.
1-0?
To United. Yeah, obviously.
Okay, obviously. Phil Standish, what do you reckon?
Yeah. I'm with Nick. I don't see it being a rout, and I base that on the resting of the players. I think although in the past, when you've seen the likes of McTominay or someone like that starting, because they can't get in the team, they put out their best performance because they've got something to prove. And whether that is because McTominay comes out because he's trying to get his move to Newcastle, who knows?
What?
Yeah, for 30 million apparently. So whether but joking aside, whoever's on that pitch, they've got to be given their all, because if they're not, to me, they should be turning up thinking, I want to show Ten Hag I should be starting against Arsenal. Simple as that. Doesn't matter who you are, whether it's Maguire, Martinez, Malacia, De Gea even, every one of them, I think we should be turning up. So but I'm going to go with. I was going to say 1-0, but I don't want to be going same as Nick. I'll just try something a little bit different. But I'm going to say 2-1.
2-1. That's a good shout, mate. So you reckon we will not keep a clean sheet? So I guess it comes down to me then. Let me go to the audience as well to see what they're saying. Actually, Jesus, Ayush Jill, he's always Mr. Positive, but he's gone conservative. 2-0, actually. Garnacho and
Well
Rashi.
done, Ayush.
Well done. You're keeping it down. And it goes, by the way, Martinez can play centered midfielder. Yeah, he can, definitely. But if I have to go, I would do my analysis as well. I think that, barring that, I don't know if Erik ten Hag will line up weekly per se. I agree with the bench warmers to say that he might line up Scotty Mack in the midfield. I think he will line up with Weghorst, give him a debut. I think definitely Garnacho will be on fire. I see it's a tight game, like playing away where it's 3 points. If we win a scrappy win with 1-0, I'm happy. But I must say I go with damn, I go with you, Ayush, 2-0.
Phil's disappointed now.
Thank you, guys.
I'll be happy with the result. I'll be
Yeah.
happy we got a 2-0 win.
Yeah, 3 points what matters. But listen, for everyone that contributed in the score prediction, thank you so much. Leave a like in the comments if you want. Share this video. It surely helps. It's not mandatory. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell your friends. We are here to give you the latest within the Manchester United fan base community. Spread the positivity. We are going places with Erik ten Hag. Like, listen, for me, at the end of the day, Wednesday, it's 3 points, as I said. It's a dress rehearsal for Arsenal. That game I'm really looking forward to as well. Because, yeah, I seriously think that we are challenging for the title. We are in there. If you look at the points tally that we discussed before, guys, like, Chelsea's been 10 points drifting behind. Same with Liverpool. We're 1 point behind City. I mean, anything could happen. Like, I definitely think that Arsenal will slip, sooner or later. So we just have to play our game one by one, day by day. Rock up for training, stay injury free. Obviously, we see Erik ten Hag rotating his squad, keeping them fresh, because freshness is key, according to my opinion. So, how excited are you on a hotometer for the Arsenal game? Looking ahead even further, like, what do you think? Like, it's going to be tight, Phil, Nick, anyone?
I think
Are you
to be
out there?
honest, from myself.
I'm flying high.
Can you hear me all right? Yeah. I think from myself
Nick?
at the moment.
What do you
Okay.
reckon?
Nick
Do you
can't
think
hear me
it's
then.
going to be
Phil's answering.
Phil answering? I don't know. I can't
Doesn't
hear
matter,
him.
Nick. You go, Nick. You go. We can hear you.
I am excited for it. I'm a little apprehensive because Arsenal are doing so well. Arteta's, he's really turned that team around, and credit to Arsenal for keeping him, because there was a time when it was very touch and go. But they've had faith in him. He's given them that consistency. He's given them the confidence to kind of. It's almost like the Arsenal of old when we've been competing. So I am slightly worried about it, but we've already beat them once this season, so I don't see it being a problem. But we do have to have a full strength squad for that game, so we do need to rest a couple of players for this Palace one. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually excited for all the United games now. Sometimes there's that pit in your stomach, isn't there? Of, oh my God, like we're playing City, or oh, we've got Liverpool, and last season haunts me still to this day.
Yeah, I hear you, Nick. I hear you.
So I think it feels good again to be a United fan. It feels like we're back on top, or we're getting back on top, and that for me is just a really, really good feeling. Really good feeling.
It feels like this in the sound. For me, it's like being a teenager waking up and feeling in love again. You know what I mean? You wake up with this butterflies in the stomach. You jump on the socials. You see the buzzing feeling. Everyone, this morning
I
I
must have
woke up.
missed that phase.
Yeah, I mean, this morning I woke up like, had my morning coffee with a big smile, open up Twitter and the positivity around the fan base is just like I haven't seen this for so long. It's been so divide and conquer lately, like, but
Yeah.
what Eric Ten Hag is bringing like, application, he's bringing his culture, his mentality, the comeback mentality that everyone is fighting for its places. It's just amazing to see. I see Eric Ten Hag being like, a mini Sir Alex Ferguson in the making as well. So, you know, and the point is that nobody expected us to be us in this position. But, imagine if we can do this now within 6 months of space, what we can do within the next 2 years. So it's
Yeah.
remarkable. It's
A few
remarkable
more
just
transfer
looking at the
windows as
table,
well.
looking at the games, number of wins in a row. Like, we played 18 games, one loss. It's just amazing. That's what I have to say. I know.
Yeah.
Is Phil around? He's frozen. I can't
He's
hear you.
no, he's still around. He can. I can hear him. So if we just let him talk, then
Talk, Phil.
yeah.
Oh,
Talk.
thanks, Nick.
Go
Can you
on,
ask
go
me?
on, right.
Can you ask me what he wants me to say?
What do you want him to say, Mick? Give your analysis, Phil. Come on.
Come on, Phil. Let us.
For the Arsenal? So basically, I don't want to get too far game by game because that's kind of the best way to look at it. Whether you look at the result, how the players play, injuries, that kind of thing. But when you've got Arsenal coming up, it's obviously on our mind. It is right there. Arsenal, Arsenal's next game is us. They've got a few days to rest, that sort of thing. But I just think that we're not going to be. This is the best chance we'll have to play them in the form that we're in. And as Nick said, we've already beat them this season.
I can't hear him, boy.
I'm speaking.
Still
Nick can
going,
hear me,
don't
so
worry.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
still going.
Good.
His money's not run out on the meter. Keeping it brief, I just think that we've got a good chance against
Let me know when
Arsenal.
you finished.
But they also think that they've got a good chance against us at this moment because they're on their best run of form as well. So let's just see what comes of it, and I'll leave it there because clearly I have gone.
He's finished.
It is finished. Listen, I just want to go with one last comment for you, Mr. Positive, our loyal supporter Ayush, Mr. Bench Warmer, Super Sub. He just heard that CR7 is joining in the toughest league on the planet with better food and gym. Yeah, right. Ayush is going positive. 2-0 against Palace, 9-0 against Arsenal. That's finishing up with a fantastic note. Listen, guys, thank you for tuning in. It's been 3 minutes. We're trying to keep it down to 1 hour for everyone that's tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you, Phil, for coming on. I know you had a family commitment and dinner. Nick, thank you also. It's lovely to see you. Brilliant. They can all follow you in the socials. The links are in the description below. How you can find Nick and Phil, and how can you join this community and channel. But until then, listen, stay beautiful, hug each other in the traffic, be nice to each other in the socials. We are in a title race and we are on a gooner hunt. Listen, like and subscribe, up to you. It's not mandatory, but sure helps. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. And please tell your friends to watch this video well. Cheers, guys. Bye. See you now.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Good night, if you can hear me.
Oi, oi, oi. Thank you for watching MUFC Realist TV and this episode. Listen, if you really like what you're seeing, please continue watching other content that we provide because it's unique content providing by a fan for the fan, allowing you to be real red for real with real opinions because at the end of the day, we are MUFC Realist TV. Even better, if you want to join our community, make us better, play for the team, hit that join button. Together, we will grow and make it better. Thank you for watching, and by the way, support the team for God's sake, because that's what we do here. Cheers!